الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحاقة ما الحاقة وما أدراك ما الحاقة كذبت ثمود وعاد بالقارعة فأما ثمود فأهلكوا بالطاغية وأما عاد فأهلكوا بريح صرصر عاتية سخرها عليهم 7 ليال و8 أيام حسوما فترى القوم فيها صرعى كأنهم أعجاز نخل خاوية فهل ترى لهم من باقية. صدق Allah al-Azim. My dear and respected brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers and sisters, one of the great blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down for you and me His last book, Al-Quran. And in this book, Quran, amongst so many things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had mentioned, one of the great things that Allah had mentioned in this great book is the description of the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How big Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. This description is spread all over the Quran. And the reason for that is that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing Himself in Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants insan to understand that insan, meaning human being, in spite of all the strengths and powers that you and I enjoy, we are completely helpless and powerless in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, when you compare the powers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the powers that you have, you'll find that your power is nothing. Nothing. And more so when the powers that you are enjoying are given to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself. Therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran time and again have said that Inna Allah ala kulli shay'in qadir. This ayah has been repeated so many times in Quran. That no doubt Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has complete control over everything. And one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had also mentioned in Quran is that insan should contemplate, think about his own powers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Allah said, think about yourself. Think about yourself. Don't you understand that you are very feeble and weak? Don't you see that a little bit of pain, a little bit of fever, a little bit of headache, a little bit of what? Toothache, a little bit of back pain, a little bit of joint, what do you call, misjoint, a joint pain. Anything that would happen to your body, then you become restless, you are in pain, and you cry, you take medicines, you are completely a weak person. Therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَخُلَقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. Insan was created with weaknesses. Right? You were created with weaknesses. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, there's one beautiful ayah in Surah Al-Najm. which really needs contemplation from you. Think about this. I'll just read it and you think about it. Especially my Arabic brothers, Arab brothers. Look, the beauty of this ayah. هو أعلم بكم هو أعلم بكم إذ أنشأكم من الأرض وإذ أنتم أجنة في بطون أمهاتكم أجنة في بطون أمهاتكم فلا تزكوا أنفسكم هو أعلم بمن اتقى. Subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Allah knows about you more than you know yourself. Allah knows about you more than you know yourself. Allah said, look at the origin of yourself. إِذْ أَنْتُمْ أَجِنَّةٌ. You were a very, very small creation of Allah, very small, in the wombs of your mothers. فِي بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُمْ. That is the origin of every human being. And that is that you were a jinnah in the womb of your mother. Brothers and sisters, think about again. When you were created from what? From nutfa, sperm. And look at yourself now. 6 feet, 5.5 feet, healthy man, healthy woman, with eyes and brain and the whole body. Right? But your origin was from nutfa, from a drop of sperm. In Surah Tariq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Mimma maheen. You were created from one drop of water, which itself, meaning nutfa, is very najis, is very dirty. Meaning sperm is najis. You know how filthy and dirty sperm is? That when sperm leaves your private part, and let's say if it would inflict on your thigh, it would inflict on your clothes, it's so najis that Allah said, no, don't pray salah. Don't stand of me in salah. Go wash yourself. Make sure that this nutfa is not on your skin or on your clothes. Clean yourself before you pray salah. So what you do when you see the sperm on your skin, you go and take shower, isn't it? You change your clothes, right? Why? Because this is najis. Yet every human being is created from that ma'im maheen, from that najis drop of water. This is the origin of our creation. No matter who you are, you were created the same way. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that when you were a jinnah in the womb of your mother, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Never develop any kind of arrogance in front of me. Never be, a man or a woman of takabbur in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never say no to Allah. Never ignore Allah. Because Allah is the one who created you, who gave you origin. Right? So never فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Never say no to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my dear brothers and sisters, whenever you pray salah, salah is a sign of what? Humility to Allah. Tawadu. You are keeping aside all takabbur, all kind of pride, arrogance. When you say Allahu Akbar, fold your hand like a slave is folding his hand in front of its master. Your eyes are down, humility. And when you are going from one action to another action, what are you saying? Allahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. You start your salah with Allahu Akbar. You go into ruku, you say Allahu Akbar. You go into sajda, Allahu Akbar. You raise your head from Allahu Akbar. You say Allahu Akbar. You go in the second sajda, you say Allahu. This Allahu Akbar is being chanted by you and me repeatedly in order to make sure that in our heart we have this yaqeen and belief that Allah in reality is the greatest. And you and I are very, 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 very weak. Very weak. We actually don't have any power. All the powers that we have are given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us. So, فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Never develop any pride. Never think that I am something or somebody. I'm nothing. I'm nothing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Your example and my example, brother, is like a drop, just a drop in an ocean. That's our example, just a drop. And if you look at this huge ocean, right, what is the value of a drop? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is full of power. And my dear brothers and sisters, Allah in the Quran is reminding us again and again about His powers. It's just that you and I, or most of us, illa masha'Allah, are not understanding how powerful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And brothers and sisters, this natural calamity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings, this hurricane that came 2 days ago, right? This should be a wake-up call, right? As if we were in slumber, we were sleeping, we had lost track. Hurricane came, and now we see the destruction that it caused. You see how powerful nature is. And when I say nature, nature is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because atheists had made nature as if nature was created by itself. So they say it's nature. No, nature is created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked a question, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Man khalaqa as-samawati wal ard? Who created nature? Sky and the earth is nature. Who created nature? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah created nature. So this hurricane that came, right? It is a force of nature. But this nature is a creation of whom? Of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you see whether it's US, the most strong and the most powerful country on earth, right? Or it's Cuba, which is one of the most small, one of the most poor country, right? You see that before this hurricane hit US, it hit Cuba. So it caused massive destruction in Cuba before it hit US, the most powerful country on earth. And it caused unprecedented amount of destruction. In Fort Myers, right? Naples and all that areas, right? Where this hurricane hit with its full force, whether it was category 4 or 3, right? Look how much destruction it caused. And this hurricane was not there for the whole day or the whole night. This hurricane was there for few hours, maybe an hour 30 minutes, then it went on. Yes, it came to you and me in Central Florida, in Orlando, but alhamdulillah, it was like a tropical storm. But this tropical storm was too much for us, right? Still, parts of Kissimmee are underwater. Part of Dr. Flip's area, underwater. Parts of Kissimmee and Orlando are without power. Right? Many brothers could not come for Juma Salah today because there's water standing in their neighborhood. They just cannot. And again, this tropical, it was only a tropical storm. How many of you are sitting here and you lost shingles on your rooftop? How many of you witnessed water, right, on your ceiling? How many of you witnessed some kind of, right, destruction or loss at your home? And this was only a tropical storm. Now, the ayah that I received, the ayahs that I recited to you in the beginning, right? In that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about hurricane. But that hurricane was, in our terms, in our language, was category 5. Right? And that category 5 hurricane lasted 7 ليال وثمانية أيام. 7 nights. 7 nights and 8 days. Imagine 7 nights and 8 days. What happened? I'll recite to you again one more time. Think of al-haqqa, mal-haqqa, wa ma adraka, mal-haqqa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, my punishment. Haqqa means a huge thunder. So Allah is saying, al-haqqa, mal-haqqa, wa ma adraka, mal-haqqa. My punishment, my punishment. Do you know what are the ways through which I can punish you? Allah said, I give you few instances from the past. كذبت ثمود وعاد بالقارعة. Thamud and Ad, two big communities, they rejected me. They were full of arrogance, right? So I destroyed them بالقارعة, through thunder. فأما ثمود فأهلكوا بالطاغية وأما عاد فأهلكوا بريح صرصر. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about Ad. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala سخرها عليهم 7 ليال وثمانية أيام. I sent down upon them this hurricane 5 category, right? For 7 nights and 8 days. 7 nights and 8 days. Meaning for the whole week, this hurricane category 5 was hitting them, pounding them. حسوما فترى القوم فيها صرعى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, nothing was standing in that community. Nothing. فهل ترى لهم من باقية. If you were to visit that city, if you would have a helicopter and you would have flown over that city to have an aerial view, right? You would find that فَهَلْ تَرَى لَهُم مِّن بَاقِيَةٍ. You would not have found anything standing there. No structure was standing there. Why? Because for 7 nights and 8 days, there was this hurricane pounding that community. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that I send these natural calamities time and again, time and again, time and again. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that these natural calamities are a source of mercy. Brother, underline this. It's source of mercy. Why? It is source of punishment as well as source of mercy. Punishment for those people who are so arrogant that they don't believe in God, that they don't follow God. They don't want God in their life at all. So they are full of arrogance. So that time is up, Allah wants to punish them. So this is a source of punishment. But it is a source of mercy as well. Same act, but two different messages. Right? Now, What is a source of mercy there? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said this, told us in few places in Quran. I'll read just one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَوَلَا يُفْتَنُونَ أَوَلَا يَرَوْنَ أَنَّهُمْ يُفْتَنُونَ فِي كُلِّ عَامٍ. Aam means a year. أَوَلَا يَرَوْنَ أَنَّهُمْ يُفْتَنُونَ فِي كُلِّ عَامٍ مَرَّةً أَوْ مَرَّتَيْنِ. مرة means once, مرتين two. ثم لا يتوبون ولا هم يذكرون. Allah says that every year, since millions of years, that every year what I do is to every community, I send some national calamities. National calamities, yeah, national calamities, either once or twice a year, right? Thumma la, so that you can make tawbah. Now underline this. As if you were in a slumber and you were sleeping, right? This natural calamity would come and this should wake you up. I mean, if you were in a slumber about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about the powers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this natural calamity should wake you up, should make you realize how powerful Allah is, should make you realize that you and I together, no matter where you are living in a small country like Cuba or a powerful country like US, in front of the powers of Allah, you and I are completely helpless. Now you see, brothers and sisters, how powerful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if you were lost, this hurricane should make you wake up. And now you should turn to Allah again. And you should say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. There is no God but Allah. There is no God but Allah. And Ya Allah, we are completely dependent upon you. Completely dependent upon you. Right? And, out to learn lessons, one must see those videos that are coming out from Fort Myers, from Naples, and other destroyed areas. Just some, the whole, like a part of the bridge is gone. Imagine this bridge standing over ocean is gone. A part of it is gone. How powerful the wind were, right? The whole houses after houses, subdivisions after subdivisions are completely ransacked by the wind, right? The destruction is now so big that the government is struggling to put a figure how much loss it is. One figure says $100 billion, $100 billion or more. My dear brothers and sisters, this should be a wake-up call. Brothers and sisters, look at it with ibrah and nasiha. Look at it like Allah in Quran is saying, وَلَا يَتُوبُونَ وَلَا هُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. When you see these natural calamities, still you are not understanding the powers of Allah. Still you are not getting rid of your takabbur and arrogance. Still you are not learning the lessons that in Allah ala kulli shayin qadir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all powerful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has complete powers over everything. My dear brothers and sisters, humble ourselves to Allah. These natural calamities should make us humble. Do not show any kind of arrogance to Allah. Brother, I'm telling you, you are nothing. I'm nothing. Nobody is nothing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are completely dependent upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to see humility coming out from people who say, Ya Allah, you are my Rabb, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm completely dependent upon you. You have created me, you have sent me in this world. I'm a guest in this universe. I know I have to leave. When I'm going to leave, I do not know. When I'm going to know, then the death comes in strange ways. May Allah give all of us long life, brothers and sisters. I give you this instance 2 days ago. My first cousin's husband, right? My first cousin, she and her husband went from India to do Umrah, right? So the couple did Umrah, completely fit, no problem, right? Now look at this. Now they went for ziyarah of Rasulullah qabr in Medina Munawwara, right? They did ziyarah, no problem, alhamdulillah. My cousin's husband, right, developed some breathing problem, was taken to the hospital in Medina Munawwara. He felt great easiness again. He was transferred to the military hospital in Medina Munawwara, right? In the morning, he passed away. In the morning, he just passed away. But look, I was telling my cousin over the phone that what a good death he got. He just did Umrah. Few hours ago, he did Umrah. And Rasulullah alayhi wa said, Al-Umrah, from one Umrah to second Umrah, Umrah becomes kafara of your zunub, inshallah. Umrah becomes atonement for your sins. So he just did Umrah, and guess what? He went to present his respect to his Rasulullah, right? What a great act that you are standing in the qabr of Rasulullah in front of his qabr and saying as-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Rasulullah. He did that and then he passed away. And today, in the morning, he was buried in Medina Munawwara. That's life. That's life. And you know, when he left India, do you think that he ever thought that this would be my last uh, like trip or last days, right? He must have plans, brothers and sisters. This is how human beings are. We are very, very much dependent upon the plans of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We just follow the plans of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't have much choice, right? Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Minha khalaqnakum wa fiha nu'idukum wa minha nukhrijukum ta'atan ukhra. So here you see the doer is Allah, the subject is Allah. I created you, I send you in this world, and I'll call you back. Right? So therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, when you are watching television, when you are following this hurricane destruction over your smartphones, brothers and sisters, my humble request to you is learn a lesson. Learn a lesson and wake up. Wake up. Make strong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Get rid of all kind of arrogance. Right? No matter which community you are living in, which subdivision you are living in, right? Never think that I'm beyond, right, the grasp of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Just see all these uh, subdivisions that are being destroyed in these cities, right? They also were living happily in their homes. Now they don't have a place to live. And the last request, brothers and sisters, is that on one hand, yes, wake up. But on the other hand, if we can help these millions of people in these cities, right, who have lost everything, right? And if you have seen those videos where these rich people who are living in big houses and their houses are gone, in the morning they were so hungry that they were standing in a line for a cup of coffee, for tea, for breakfast, because their fridges, their their whole house, their freezers, everything is gone. Now they have not eaten for so many hours. The morning came and they were so hungry that they were looking for food. And there was one food truck that a restaurant brought, and there were people standing in line, and they were all rich people. So, brothers and sisters, as Muslims, our Prophet Muhammad said that if you have food while your neighbors are hungry and you don't care about them, then you are not a Muslim. So why don't you do this? Just fill up your trunk with some food, right? Tomorrow is Saturday, Sunday. Just drive 2 hours. Just take some food, some drinks. Just pass it out to them, right? And if they ask you who you are, well, I'm from the Islamic Center of Orlando. Just give them a message that you are Muslim. But do this. This would be one of the best action that we can do, right? It's 2 hour drive, 1.5 hour drive. Just go and help people out. Take your children. So children can also learn, right? And I'd like to conclude by saying in Suratul Muddathir, Allah said the same thing. Allah said that Ma salakakum fi saqar qalu lam naku minal musallin wa lam naku nut'imul miskin. Allah said, people who know that others are hungry in Fort Myers, Naples, other people don't have breakfast, the people don't have food, they don't have drinks, and you say, I don't care, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Allah will send people like this into where? Into hellfire. Why? Because they knew that people are hungry at some place. They say it's not my job, it's not my responsibility. Although you have plenty of money, you have plenty of food. So let's make a plan, brothers and sisters. Individually, you can go and just go, take your family, help as many people as possible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you tremendous reward. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you and me understand. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallah wa bihamdi, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka.